And before I close, I'll share with you that I asked our daughter what she would like to say to Daddy for his birthday. Excuse me. She said, "Happy birthday, Daddy. I want to give you a stuffed animal." "I want you to eat a cupcake with ice cream, and I want you to go have a birthday surprise. I love you," is what she said. And while our son is precious, he can't yet speak, in classic Kirk family fashion, his actions spoke louder than his words, and his gift to you, Charlie, and myself for that matter, was deciding to become the man of the house and be fully potty trained at 16 months.
What if Charlie Kirk's final message wasn't a goodbye, but a warning? Because according to Candace Owens, what she just revealed from Charlie's private notes to his wife Erika has everyone from Washington insiders to podcast junkies absolutely losing it. This isn't some emotional love letter. It's a coded confession from a man who knew something was coming, a message that says more about fear, betrayal, and power than anyone expected. So why did Candace decide to share it now? And what secret inside that message has Erika Kirk suddenly gone silent about? Buckle up, this one's dark. The story begins the moment Candace Owens walked into her studio, holding what looked like an old leather notebook. She didn't say a word at first, just looked into the camera with that knowing smirk she saves for moments when the world's about to implode. Then she dropped it. "This," she said, tapping the cover, "is Charlie's private message to Erika." The internet froze. Within minutes, #CHARLIES message was trending across Twitter, Telegram, and even Reddit conspiracy threads. But what no one expected was how personal that message was or how directly it hinted at what might have led to his death. Candace claimed she received the diary a week after Charlie's memorial. A friend of a friend slipped it into her hands, allegedly on Charlie's own request before he died. Inside, according to her, were dozens of handwritten pages, confessions, warnings, and thoughts about people he no longer trusted. At first glance, it read like the ramblings of a paranoid man, but as she started reading excerpts on her show, things took a turn. He mentioned financial shadows inside Turning Point USA. He wrote about a deal that could end everything, and, most disturbingly, he ended one page with a single line, "If I go missing, tell Erika not to trust them." Who was them? That's the question burning across social media. Some say he meant his political circle, others his own board of directors. A few even whispered the unthinkable, that he meant Erika herself. Because what came next sent the internet into full meltdown. Candace revealed a second message, one Charlie allegedly wrote just 2 days before his accidental overdose. In it, he said he felt watched, followed, and handled. He mentioned a disagreement with someone close enough to destroy him from inside. The way he phrased it made people wonder, was this a marriage breaking apart or a movement collapsing from within? Meanwhile, Erika Kirk has stayed silent. No interviews, no statements, no tears for the cameras, just a carefully curated Instagram feed of smiles and motivational quotes. That silence is feeding speculation like gasoline on a wildfire. Insiders claim she's been in closed-door meetings with Turning Point's legal team, reportedly preparing for an internal audit review. Translation? Damage control! Because if Candace's claims are even halfway true, Charlie might have been investigating something much bigger than personal drama before his death, something financial, political, and dangerous. Candace didn't stop there. She said Charlie's final note was not a suicide letter, but a map. He had drawn symbols, initials, and a strange diagram linking names to dates, none of which made sense to the average viewer. But online sleuths jumped in fast. Within hours, Twitter detectives had connected those initials to major donors of Turning Point USA, including at least one political strategist tied to offshore accounts. Could this be real? No one knows. But what's undeniable is how quickly the people in those circles began to panic. Phone calls weren't being returned, LinkedIn profiles quietly vanished, and even Erika's assistant deleted her entire account overnight. Then there was the podcast moment that sealed it. Joe Rogan went live and asked the question no one in mainstream media dared to touch: if Charlie Kirk was just another conservative commentator. Why did his death trigger a media blackout within 6 hours? He hinted that he'd received DMs from someone inside claiming that the night before Charlie's death, a private meeting took place at a Scottsdale restaurant between Erika, a Turning Point accountant, and an unidentified man seen earlier at a known political donor's party. Joe said it reeked of coordination, and this is where Candace's reveal twisted into something even darker. Because in one of Charlie's final lines, he wrote, "They think loyalty is silence. I think silence is suicide," a phrase that could mean anything or everything. Candace didn't elaborate. She just said she was still deciding whether to release the rest of the pages. But by then, the damage was done. The seed was planted. Everyone wanted to know what Erika knew, and when she knew it, as the night Candace aired her revelation ended, viewers flooded the comment sections with theories. Some called it a setup. Some accused Candace of exploiting a dead man's words for clicks. But others said she was doing what no one else dared, pulling back the curtain on a political empire built on secrets, money, and manipulation. Whatever the truth, it was clear Charlie Kirk's story wasn't over. Not by a long shot. And the message to Erika? That was just the beginning. By the time morning came, Erika Kirk's name was everywhere. Her smiling face was plastered on gossip blogs, Reddit threads, and even political subreddits that usually avoided personal drama. Candace's broadcast had done more than spark curiosity, it had detonated a bomb. People wanted answers, and they wanted them now. Erika's digital silence was being picked apart like evidence from a crime scene. Fans noticed her unfollowed Candace hours before the broadcast went live. And one user even dug up a screenshot showing Erika had liked a cryptic tweet just 2 days prior. Sometimes betrayal comes wearing your last name. The internet ran wild with that one. Meanwhile, Candace dropped another breadcrumb on her next show. She claimed to have authenticated the letter through handwriting analysis and metadata from a scanned image of the page's metadata that supposedly matched Charlie's personal laptop. She even read out what she said was a message from one of Charlie's assistants. "He told me if anything ever happened, Candace would know what to do." That line sent chills through her audience. Because if true, that meant Charlie didn't just suspect danger, he expected it. And Candace was his backup plan. The backlash was instant. Conservative circles went into chaos. Turning Point USA's PR team released a statement calling Candace's claims baseless, defamatory, and harmful to the grieving family. But then came the leak. A whistleblower email allegedly from inside the organization was posted anonymously to a private Substack, saying certain donors expressed concern about Charlie's mental state weeks before his passing. Internal discussions referenced keeping him quiet. The email vanished within hours, but screenshots were already viral. Keeping him quiet became the next trending phrase. People began connecting dots that maybe shouldn't have been connected, but that's the internet for you. Users speculated that Charlie had uncovered irregularities in donor money movement, especially surrounding a youth event fund that mysteriously disappeared from the books last quarter. Someone even claimed to have traced one of those funds to a shell company registered in the Cayman Islands. Whether true or not didn't matter anymore, the narrative had legs. And Erika? She suddenly found herself painted as the silent gatekeeper, the one holding secrets that could shatter an empire. A TikTok investigator uploaded a video comparing Erika's latest podcast episode to her older ones, pointing out how her tone shifted from inspired and uplifting to nervous and rehearsed. The clip racked up to 0.3 million views in 24 hours. The comments section was brutal. "She's hiding something. You can hear the guilt. Look at her eyes, she's reading a script." Within a week, Erika's management disabled comments across all her platforms. That only fueled the theory further. Then came Candace's third episode, the one where she promised to connect the final dots. She didn't hold back. Charlie was trying to expose corruption. She said he wasn't losing his mind. he was losing control of his narrative. She claimed to have received messages from two anonymous insiders who allegedly confirmed that Charlie had questioned the organization's financial transparency. According to Candace, he'd even threatened to resign unless the truth was brought to light. But here's where things got personal. Candace said Charlie's last recorded voicemail wasn't to his lawyer or his business partner, it was to Erika, and according to her, it said, "If I'm gone tomorrow, promise me you won't let them rewrite my story." The moment that clip played, the internet broke. The message was calm, tired, emotional, and it didn't sound like a man planning to end his life. It sounded like a man preparing to be silenced. Within hours, people started demanding an independent investigation. A petition calling for the reopening of Charlie's case hit over 250,000 signatures in 2 days. Candace fanned the flames by posting, "Justice for Charlie is not optional." Meanwhile, Erika released a single statement through her representative. "This has gone too far. My husband deserves peace, not politics." But that backfired instantly. Critics called it evasive, emotionless, and carefully lawyered, adding more chaos to the fire. A supposed leaked voicemail surfaced on Twitter, featuring a male voice eerily similar to Charlie's saying, "They know what I found." Experts called it fake, AI generated, but people didn't care. It fit the story too perfectly. Every TikTok, every YouTube commentator, every late-night host had an opinion. What started as a private tragedy had turned into a full-blown digital manhunt, and in the middle of it all stood Candace Owens smirking, unapologetic, and claiming to have one final piece that would make even the media tremble. She teased it like a Netflix trailer. What Charlie left behind wasn't just a message, it was a warning. And that warning? It was meant for Erika. Theories escalated to new heights. Some claimed Erika had been working with Turning Point's board to cover up donor misuse. Others thought she'd tried to protect Charlie, but was now being framed. The irony? No one knew what was true anymore. The line between truth, spin, and entertainment had vanished. But in the age of viral outrage, that didn't matter. The louder the chaos, the stronger the engagement, and this story was feeding the algorithm like oxygen to fire. As Candace prepared for her next exclusive reveal, every network, from Fox to CNN, wanted a piece of her. Erika's inner circle was reportedly imploding. One insider leaked that she'd moved out of her home temporarily for safety reasons. But even that statement only raised more suspicion. Safety from who? Candace's fans? Or something and someone else? Someone else? By the time Candace dropped what she called her final revelation, the internet had turned into a digital courtroom. Everyone had taken sides, Team Candace or Team Erika, and there was no middle ground left. The video opened dramatically, dim lights, somber music, and Candace sitting across from a blurred out figure labeled only as the source. She said this person had direct access to Charlie's encrypted communications and had risked everything to come forward. The source's voice was disguised, robotic, and eerie. They claimed Charlie had been compiling evidence of what he called organizational laundering, money routed through Turning Point USA events into third-party nonprofits that didn't exist on paper. He confronted the wrong people, the source said. And after that meeting, everything changed. The timing lined up suspiciously close to the day he reportedly sent that final message to Erika. Candace leaned forward dramatically, holding a stack of printed pages. "These," she said, "are fragments from Charlie's private notes." He mentioned one word repeatedly, Erika. Not out of love, out of warning. She read a line allegedly written in his handwriting, "If I disappear." Erika knows who to ask, but not who to trust. That sentence alone became the quote of the week, spreading across TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter like wildfire. Erika's team responded almost instantly with a cease and desist order demanding Candace retract all false claims, but the public wasn't convinced. Screenshots of her lawyer's letter leaked, ironically fueling even more conspiracy theories. One journalist pointed out that the letter mentioned potential defamation and emotional distress, but never explicitly denied the letter's authenticity. And that was enough for the internet to fill in the blanks. Meanwhile, Turning Point USA went into full crisis mode. Reports emerged that two senior board members had quietly resigned. Anonymous staffers claimed the office atmosphere felt like a funeral. Someone leaked an internal email from the finance department where an accountant allegedly wrote, "Do not release Q2 documents externally within hours." That line became another trending hashtag. Hashtag do not release. Then came the video no one expected. A clip from an old charity gallery surfaced, showing Charlie giving a speech while Erika watched from the crowd. Internet sleuths zoomed in, slowed it down, analyzed her every facial expression. "Look how uncomfortable she looks," one comment said. She knew even then the clip wasn't even incriminating, but the world had already decided on a narrative, and the algorithm rewarded outrage over evidence. Candace kept feeding it. She teased that she had voice memos from Charlie's phone the public deserves to hear. Within hours, the hashtag Charlie Speaks started trending globally. But when she finally released one of those clips, it wasn't an explosive confession, it was a man's weary voice saying, "They'll never let me tell my side." That one sentence shattered whatever calm was left. Whether real or fake, it struck emotional gold. Every YouTube commentator, every Twitter thread, every gossip page turned it into a digital trial. Erika's friends tried to defend her, saying she was grieving privately, but no one wanted grief, they wanted guilt. Candace, on the other hand, was being hailed as the whistleblower America didn't know it needed. She leaned into it fully, turning her show into a serialized mystery. Each episode promised one step closer to the truth, complete with cliffhangers and cinematic edits behind the scenes. Law enforcement reportedly reopened certain investigative files due to new information circulating online, but insiders claimed it was just a procedural move to calm public pressure. Still, it didn't stop the speculation. Some believed Candace was working with federal investigators. Others thought she'd crossed legal lines and could face charges herself. But by then, the internet didn't care about legalities, it cared about the show. In a strange twist, Erika finally went live. For the first time since Charlie's death, she spoke directly to the public. Her face was pale, her eyes red. "I love my husband," she said softly. But the man the internet is describing, that's not the man I knew. She denied knowing anything about secret files or missing money, but her trembling voice only made her seem guiltier to a bloodthirsty audience. Within minutes, reaction videos flooded in dissecting her every blink. "She's lying, she's hiding something. Look how she hesitates. The poor woman couldn't win." And just when the world thought it had seen everything, Candace dropped one last bombshell. She displayed what she claimed was a text message between Charlie and Erika from a month before his death. The message read, "Stop covering for them. I can't keep this quiet anymore." Whether it was real, forged, or I generated didn't matter, it was the perfect ending to the perfect viral storm. By this point, the entire saga had transcended reality. It wasn't about facts anymore. It was about performance. The tragedy of a man's death had become serialized entertainment, an ongoing saga the audience refused to let end. Erika reportedly deactivated all her social accounts and withdrew from public life. While Candace announced she'd be writing a book to expose the untold truth, news anchors debated whether she was a hero or a manipulator. Podcasters treated the story like a true crime mystery, and TikTokers kept looping Charlie's supposed voice clip like a ghost haunting the algorithm. But in the end, the irony was undeniable. No one knew what was real anymore. Was Charlie silenced or simply misunderstood? Was Erika protecting his legacy or protecting herself? And was Candace uncovering corruption or creating her own empire of outrage? No one had answers. Just theories, just noise, just another viral cycle feeding itself, and somewhere between the headlines and hashtags, Charlie Kirk's voice, real or imagined, echoed one last time through the chaos of the internet. "They'll never let me tell my side." So what do you think, Lumi Legacy family? Was Charlie Kirk trying to warn us all before it was too late? Or did Candace Owens just rewrite history for her own agenda? The truth seems buried under money, power, and silence, and Every clue only makes the mystery darker. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you believe, Candace, Erika, or the ghost of Charlie himself? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Lumi Legacy, where we don't just tell stories, we dig into the secrets they don't want you to know.